Well, we need to move the flag so we can see it. All join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, meeting's called to order. Rich?
Yes, I've received a call on Thursday from the LGC insurance person, Lisa Roach. She wanted to know what was going on at the townhouse with respect to the leak. She said they would like to get their appraiser in to take a look at it, and he'd like to come in on Thursday. So he came over on Thursday, a fellow named Tom Parrott came in on Thursday at 1:30 to take a look at the situation, and he did a thorough analysis of all the rooms. He's going to give us a written report in a couple of weeks. He would like from us our policy with the oil company that we signed with respect to deliveries.
I have that.
Okay, and Jessica has forwarded over already a sketch of the townhouse. He indicated to me that if we say yes to him, he will coordinate and do total repairs, and our obligation will be our deductible. He will coordinate with the people to pull the carpet, to dry the floor, to pull the sheetrock that's moldy, pull the vanities. He worked into the great room. I'll call the great room. He found water under the floor in the great room. And he says that's got to be pulled because it's going to warp, it's going to get moldy, but they will take care of that if we say go. I said, we've got a town meeting coming in 2 weeks. He says the floor can wait, the bathrooms can't. You won't be able to use the bathrooms for the town meeting. He's really concerned about getting those rugs out of there so we don't have a permanent odor problem. So he's waiting for our call, either Bill or myself or anyone to call and say, yes, we want to move forward, and he will start immediately. And we're obligated for the deductible, and then he will go after the other insurance company. The rug in the front foyer is wet from the kitchen. He had a little device that he could put on the various floors and items to tell where water was, and he said the front rug has to be replaced also. Again, he said we wait after the town meeting. You don't want people tripping on that when they come in. So it's up to us to decide whether we want to give him the go-ahead.
Comments, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not sure how far the water went. I mean, if he has a little machine, he can tell. I mean, the carpet is expected to be wet with people coming in and out. So I don't know how much of it is, all of this is related to the leak. I assume he's a professional, and they can argue it out with the other insurance.
Were there any pipes that broke up towards the front?
They were
Whether
split.
they leaked water is the issue.
They were split, and he pointed out to me that if they didn't split, the insurance policy would not cover it. If the joints popped from old solder, then it's not covered. But because the pipes indeed split, our policy covers the copper and all the damage that was done by those split pipes. He asked us to save all the material that's been pulled out on the floor in the schoolhouse. They're going to save on, because he says if they have to sue someone to get our money, they will use that as evidence. So we have to store that someplace.
We got an old shed up there.
And we can, someplace we just have to save it. And the wetness in the front foyer was just around the kitchen. It's not where people came in.
Oh, okay.
It was just a semicircle at the kitchen door.
But Bill, it almost looks like there was leakage under the sink. When you look under the sink today, it looks like there is water damage.
He couldn't find any moisture there.
Really?
Yes.
I can't believe that's been, I don't remember that being there,
I
is
told
the
him-
way I'll phrase it.
I indicated that was fractured and there was water under there, and he's like, yeah, it's painted, see?
Yeah,
And as an aside, the leak on the wall,
yeah.
I said, what's that? And he goes, that's a water leak. I said, is it dry now? He took his machine and put it up where the paint's peeling.
Yep.
and it is indeed dry.
Oh, it is.
So we stopped the leak from the roof coming in, but that's an aside.
Excellent.
But he said, yeah, that's water damage, but it's now dry.
Excellent. So that's really good news.
Yes, we fixed it up.
Yep.
That was an aside. So,
I don't know what the deductible is. I'd be happy to, I've got the, no, it's not in my car. I do have the policy at home. I'd be happy to go home and email each of you so you'd have an idea what it is. I don't remember it being exorbitant.
Well, regardless, the deductible, we have insurance for these reasons.
Right.
So, and our deductible is what it is, and we're gonna have to pay the deductible. And if the deductible is more than what the cost of the repairs are, then, which I can't see, but if it is, then, you know, we don't need to file the claim. We're just gonna repair it. But in this circumstances, I do believe that the damage is way more than our deductible. So that's why we pay for the insurance. We should give him the go-ahead and do it.
I think so. And if he
Get it rolling.
If he gets the money back from Weber, is it Weber we have?
Weber, yes.
Then I suspect we'll get our deductible back.
Right.
Oh,
If they're proven neglectful and at fault, then we should get our deductible back and reimbursed through
But-
the settlement payment.
But immaterial, I think we have to move ahead. I mean, he'll manage the whole job for us. Line up the subs.
Now, he is,
Here's his card.
no,
He's
he's okay
with-
with the insurance company.
The insurance company, who called who first? The insurance company told me to contact this person.
Okay, that's fine, yeah.
And when I called him, he was well aware that I was gonna talk to him. He had talked to Lisa,
That's who I called. Yep.
and they were together.
How about the main floor? How about the matching of the main floor?
Yeah,
It's a challenge.
that's a concern to me.
He put his machine on the main floor, and there's a large semicircle. He suspected the floor's got a little bow in it,
Yep, it does.
and that the water ran underneath that, I think it's maple. He says there'll be mold, the boards will cup, they have to come out, or you can have a mold issue. Back up a little bit. In the schoolhouse, he speculates that the subfloor is wide pine with a gap, which let the water drain and dry. Therefore, he didn't find a problem in the schoolhouse. When he went to the front,
Go figure.
he goes to the front, he says, there might be plywood under here. Which means, right, water doesn't go through.
It means that when they redid that floor in there, and they redid that floor umpteen years ago, they might have put a plywood base down and over top the old floorboards.
That's what he was speculating, and that keeps the water in.
Yep, it locks it right in. Because
So-
those are usually subflooring is moisture resistant.
So he would pull out, and he contracted to pull out the semicircle. He raised the issue of the old floor being sanded a number of times, and you only get 3 sandings out of a floor. He says, I don't know how many times it was sanded.
I don't agree with that.
I know
but
once since I've been a well for my years.
If those are 3/4 inch, if those are 3/4 inch, and you're only taking a 1/16 of an inch off, and then you should be able to do more than 3. I mean, if you go heavy sanding, it should eat it. But all right.
I understand.
So, but he's the.
But the issue was gonna be where might get in trouble, is if he has gotta reduce the new floor he puts in to the same level as the old floor.
Right.
To match the color, we should most likely sand the entire floor. The old floor is gonna be our responsibility. And then to match the color, you put a light stain on these
With the old floor, the rest of the old floor section?
things. It's not taking it out.
Yeah, but when they go down to sand it and then try to match that,
It may not match because of the age.
then they should have to redo the whole floor. They should have to sand and refinish that whole floor as part of that project to get it to match to where it was.
He didn't commit to that, I didn't push him on that.
I can see where that's something we have to pay for. We might have to do it. Just, that floor needs work
That's
Yeah,
anyway.
the floor needs work, yes.
He was concerned about the tongue and groove, how close you get to the tongue and groove of the sanding. You're right,
Right.
3/4 of an inch, but as you start to make that
Yeah,
groove a little shallow, you might start splitting.
It's 3/8 of an inch, you know, to the center of the tongue.
He was very knowledgeable. very
But I
nominal.
guess it would
Would
cost
they
to
re-
replace the whole floor? Astronomical.
That whole floor? I'd have to look at the square footage.
It's 35 by 35 square feet, because he measured the building. And I said, what's a 30 by 30 foot room? He goes, no, 35 by 35.
And then you have to look at the cost of the board. They sell it by the square foot, and it'd probably be somewhere between, just for the board, not to have it installed or anything like that, just the boards are gonna range anywhere between $3 and probably $12 per square foot, depending on the type of material. Then you have to figure in the labor, the sanding, and the finishing of that floor. So, yeah, it could run into the thousands and thousands of dollars.
We just had one done, you can figure $9 to $7 to have it installed and
Right.
everything. So if you say it's $10 times 30 by 30 is $900, $5,000. You could do the whole thing. 30 by 30 times 10.
Wait a minute,
Hmm?
it's only 900 square feet?
30 by 30 is 009.
Yeah.
But then you timed it by,
Like $10 a square foot.
oh, by 10, I worried about the 10, I'm sorry.
$10 a square foot, that's high, but $10 a square foot is $9,000.
And if that's maple, yeah, you're probably looking around $10 a square to have it installed and finished.
We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it, right? If it doesn't look good or whatever, he'll stop the job and say to us, what do you want to do?
But
Or
that can
at
wait
that-
until after town meeting
Yes,
to do it.
yes.
So at that point, also maybe we would know the name of who he's subcontracting with to say, could you give us an estimate to do the whole floor?
I asked him what happens if he starts to work the project and he finds surprises, right?
Yep, it's an old building.
He says, we stop and talk to you folks, what do you want to do?
That's good.
I mean, he has to pull sheetrock, he said, in the ladies' bathroom. That is shot, but not all the way up at the bottom. He's gonna cut that out.
Cut it about 4 feet.
Then I said, well, what, something's behind it, you know? Well, if
Yep.
it's water damage, they own it. If it's because of the age, let's talk.
Right.
But that's bathroom, that's just sheetrock. I mean, there's no fancy historical value to the sheetrock in those bathrooms, so.
No.
And the
I'm
cap-
more concerned about the floor in the main room.
Yeah.
That would be my concern with this project. I don't think the Heritage Commission or anyone would care
Well,
as much about the bathrooms, other than, someday we had planned to do handicap bathrooms.
well, regardless, in order to continue to use that building, we have to fix this problem. Because
Absolutely.
if black mold gets in there, you can't go in there.
Right.
It's a hazard.
Yep.
And then you have a whole nother issue of getting that cleaned out and a whole nother expense of getting that cleaned out. So if we don't act on this soon, we're gonna create an additional problem. So I think we move forward. I think we call them, get them in here and get it done. If they're gonna manage the whole project for us under the insurances, under the insurance costs, it makes sense to get it done.
Yeah, I asked him why we wouldn't do this. And the only reason, some towns have local companies that they like to give the work to. He cited Wolfboro, for example. But I don't think we have the resources in town to manage the job and get the subs and and watch everything take place. If they're gonna do it and pay the bills, I would.
Yeah, you're gonna have a general contractor who's overseeing the project manager who's gonna oversee it. That's an expensive dime right there.
And time is a factor.
Right.
Absolutely.
And time is a factor, and he's got the local resources. If he's got the resources to get in here and get it done right now, then I think we should, and because it's an insurance issue, I think we should go through with the insurance.
He's gonna attack the bathrooms ASAP, then leave the floor to after the town meeting.
Now, you assume our deductible is not like $10,000?
I assume it's not. I don't remember, that number would stick out in my head, but I will email you this afternoon. I have the policy at home.
What's our limit on the, when you heard deductible's 10,000? Well, then we still gotta go after the other insurance company.
Yeah.
And our insurance company will, if there's anything above the deductible. I think we have to move forward.
Absolutely.
Even if the deductible is $10,000, I don't know where we have the resources to go out for bids and manage the project. I mean, these folks are willing to coordinate with the subs, get in there. He talked about dehumidifiers and fans and all this other equipment they're gonna bring in to dry it out.
Yeah.
Make a
And that's what
motion-
they do. All right, motion.
Motion to proceed with the improvements or the what necessary repairs in the other buildings here, the schoolhouse and the town.
Through the insurance company. I second it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye. Would you like to call? Bill, you want me to call?
Yvonne, you've been working on it. I've just made the initial calls. You
Okay.
met with the guys, so I have not met with them.
Okay, here's, for our records, here's the individual.
I called Lisa, I think, to talk with her, but you
Yes,
talked to him.
she mentioned your name, so we were aware of it. Good. I'll call Monday.
And then we can lock up any materials that need to be locked up in the old salt shed.
Label it, and it might be years, but we gotta put it someplace.
Yeah. That just means we can't tear that shed down for a while.
That's a leak.
And by the way, I did take pictures of everything.
Yes.
On my own, prior to anybody coming in. I went around and snapped everything. Split pipes, every other
And
thing.
this individual did the same thing, and even took pictures of his meters when he was reading the moisture content in the floor. He got up close to say it was in the red, right? So he said, and then he stepped back and showed where the meter was with respect to the, he's done this before.
Well, I would,
You know?
I would hope it's not his first rodeo.
He's done this before. He looked where I wouldn't even look.
Yeah, I do it.
He did good. And then he did talk about how to repair the, you know, what I have. How do you fix these cracks in the townhouse? And you-
Do I assume he's gonna
Historic
stagger the boards?
Oh, yeah. They'll take them out. You
Yeah,
pull
there'll be
them
no
out.
seams. When you do a wood floor, there should never be
Straight lines.
straight lines. So you know, and never, like, you might have boards that have the same distance, but they're usually 3, 4,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
5 boards apart before that happens. So you always
And
need
into
to
houses
get-
where they just do.
and they should be at least 6 to 8 inches in the staggers.
Yeah.
And that keeps that from lifting at that point.
We can talk the other one later.
Yeah. Thank you.
I was gonna, he sure would have to fix the cracks.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we went.
Ed?
The public's going to ask one question. Does this have to go out to bid, and why not?
Because it's being done through the insurance company.
We've done
And this is an insurance claim. So that would be why it would not go out to bid. It's being done through the insurance company, through the insurance adjuster, and they're bringing in their specialist to fix it, and then they'll go after the company that is at fault.
So if there was any town money involved, it would have to go out to bid or voted upon?
No, it wouldn't have to be voted upon because the selectmen have the town building and maintenance repair expendable trust, which is what that's for, is for major repairs to the town buildings. And that's an expendable, because the selectmen have a responsibility to keep the buildings in sound, working, safe order. So having that expendable trust allows us to tackle issues that pop up like this, to get those repaired if necessary. If we don't have the money budgeted right away, we can reach into the expendable trust to cover those expenses.
It's gonna come up at town meeting, and so indirectly could be discussed then.
Yes.
But we're under, I don't say an emergency situation, but we're under a timeliness situation.
Do we know how much is in that trust, the expendable trust?
It's right out in the book.
If you have the book, I'll tell you last year's, this current figures. I think it's 30.
That's what I was.
Within 2 weeks, you should give us a report from the insurance adjuster indicating what has to be done and what the estimated cost will be, not to us, but to the repairer.
36,515.44.
You got it faster than me. Thank you.
Well, because I could see your
Yeah, I'm
eyes.
looking like this, going, okay, that's what that is. Still
Sorry.
even left my glasses at home.
Yes.
So there's 36,000, and then we have budgeted. What's our budget? No, we have more than that budget.
It's usually 15 or something.
Um,
Towards the end.
Virginia can hold it back there if you read it.
Yeah, that might be helpful. I'm looking for the other. Here we go.
I'll get you a pair of glasses.
Building grounds and maintenance repairs. We have 15,000 in repairs and building and grounds budgeted, and we have 8,000 in the building and ground maintenance. So we're looking at $23,000 that we have budgeted for repairs and maintenance for these buildings already done. Then we have the additional. No, I don't need those. Then we have an additional 36,000 in the expendable trust fund that is available to us if we need it to repair and maintain these buildings.
And we have a plan on how to prevent this from happening in the future?
Running out of
Yeah,
oil?
making sure that we don't run out of oil by looking at our deliveries and schedules and making sure that they are delivering within their schedules. Now, if they fail to do that and we run out of oil again, I mean, there are things that are out of our control, and we'll just have to go through the process again and go after the company that's responsible for failing on their contract.
And we're gonna,
Get a new oil company.
and we're
They get a
gonna
new oil company.
work the alarm issue a little more thoroughly. Understand how that alarm system works and what we have to do to make sure it's reporting all faults.
And it's not being turned off.
So the oil company has an insurance policy that would cover any damages that were caused due to their negligence.
I can't speak to the,
Absolutely.
I can't. speak-
We've received a letter from their insurance company that says they will be notifying us of what happens with the claim, and that they have already filed a claim and they're aware of the problem.
That's their
Okay.
oil company.
Their oil,
I mean,
their
our-
insurance company.
The oil
Our
company's
oil
insurance.
company's insurance company.
I would hope that all oil companies have insurance, insurances to cover the
Now,
safety. I can't speak to
you
that.
need to review somebody needs to review the contract, just make sure.
Yes, I will bring a copy of the contract down, put 2 copies in the selectman's box. I'm gonna be here tomorrow doing some work.
Okay,
In case
Justin,
there's a surprise in that.
you can, well, we have to show it to our insurance company.
Yeah.
So would you
Yeah.
fax a copy over to them or email a copy over?
Did you say you were emailing it to us?
No, it's a hard copy.
Oh, okay, all right. I can scan it and email it too.
Independent of what it says,
That's
they
all
want to
right.
see it, right?
Right, yes, I'm sure they have that right.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that all for this one? Then, I gotta grab a book. RSA,
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah, I know. Supervisors and the checklist are meeting.
we are going to go into a non-public meeting. We'll just shut the door
Are
on.
you gonna do that? No, I'm not gonna be there either. I just wanted to,
I'd rather
if
be
I
here.
may,
And we can move into the other room.
I had 2 calls from people who own property on the lake. They pay big taxes and they wanted to vote. And I said, I'm very sorry, you don't live in town, you're not a registered voter, you cannot vote. And I told one woman to come to the selectmen's meetings to voice their opinions or get in touch with one of you. Obviously, you know that none of them want it. I'm talking about the campground. So, and I know there isn't anything much that we can do because they don't live in town. Despite the fact they pay big taxes. There isn't anything we can do, is there?
No.
They can be informed, obviously, of what's going on, but that's about all they can do.
And I think they can speak at the town meeting, but they can't vote
They
unless
cannot, I
they're
told both of
residents.
them, I'm sorry, you cannot vote. You don't, what do you mean? I said, you don't
Gotta
live
be a
here.
resident.
You don't live here, you're not a registered voter.
Gotta be a resident.
So they were pleased with my answer, however, I think they would like to know.
91-A:3.
Where the money goes and everything, so I said we have a new bill coming out, come and get one. It'll show you all the items in it, where all the money that your taxes are paying goes. So they're both pretty, happy with that. I just thought I'd let you know that
Good.
they're upset, obviously, because they're paying a lot more than we are.
Okay, thank
Well,
you.
they have a lot. And as far as property. I don't
Yeah,
think-
well,
It
yeah,
would be
well, one
safe.
woman said she pays $10,000
Oh.
in taxes,
That
that's a
eats
lot of
against
money.
the-
Yeah, oh, no, I'm not saying they don't pay a lot more, it should be
Yeah.
considered, but everybody who owns property is an equal status.
My opinion, I said to her, don't worry about it, it's not gonna go anywhere anyway.
It has to be, that has to be done through the moderator, though. He has to run the meeting accordingly, knows the rules of who can and who cannot speak
Oh, yeah.
at the
Oh, yeah.
meeting.
Because you have to ask if there's anybody in the audience that is not a
registered
registered
voter,
voter.
then they have to identify
they have to go in the
themselves.
other room.
Because
We've
if
done
they
that
actually
before.
try to vote during that meeting, that's a criminal offense.
Right, they're supposed to go in the other room, we've had that happen before.
Right. So,
But I don't imagine you'll see too many of those people, because they don't live around here, and it's probably not convenient for them to get here on a Tuesday night at that hour,
And
you know?
and the part that they're concerned with is on the voting during the day. It's not gonna
Exactly. That's
go
right, there's
anywhere.
no voting on it that night.
right.
So I told them to go on the web, and, you know, they can find out a whole bunch of stuff on the
Okay,
web.
at this point, we're gonna go into a non-public session under 91A dash 3 colon.
Can I put a little cheat
Did I
sheet
just do
on
that?
there?
3C.
Hello?
I need a motion,
Motion?
second,
Second.
roll call vote,
Zachary, yes.
Nelson, yes.
Camp, yes. So we'll adjourn to the other office real quick.
Pictures of
Oh, I guess I can leave that open.
Yeah, it's a public, so. All right, I'll take a motion to come out of non-public.
I'll make a motion that we come out of
I
non-public.
second that.
Roll call vote,
Zachary, yes.
Nelson, yes.
Camp, yes. All right, I will make a motion that we seal the non-public minutes due to pending litigation, and they will stay sealed until this issue is resolved.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I will make a motion that we deny the request for the 2011 abatement. Trying to think of
You did good.
the rest of the terminology. The 2011 tax abatement
On this particular.
of this particular case.
Second?
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will make a motion that we have legal counsel represent the town's interest in regards to the 2012 tax abatement of this specific issue.
Second?
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there anything else that we were posted to cover today?
No, who's gonna talk to the lawyer? One of us has to pick it up.
Okay.
I'll do
I
it.
was gonna say, because you already talked to her about it.
I'll be
and-
glad to
and
do it.
We'll just
Okay.
finish that flow.
I'll call her on Monday.
Okay. So Rich will contact, and coordinate with the town attorney on these two issues. Since there's no other further business before the board that was posted,
One question, when are we gonna meet? Our next meeting is,
our next meeting is March 12th, the night of the town meeting. What normally happens that night is at 6:30, we meet in the Old Townhouse in the schoolroom, usually for 10 or 15 minutes to sign checks.
and we're gonna take them all.
No, this should be all fixed by then.
Okay, that's all right, yep.
Hopefully they're gonna have it done but before town meeting, the bathrooms and all that.
Okay.
If not, then we'll have to meet out in the other area. But we will be meeting in the Old Townhouse, because the voting's going on here, to sign checks and to handle any emergencies, and that's the only business that will come before the town Board of Selectmen on that night. Because it's the way that, it's just a very busy night. And that usually takes up the full 10 or 15, 20 minutes that we have. Because then we reconvene out there on the floor for the warrant portion of the town meeting
Right.
at 7 o'clock. Okay?
Yep.
Since there's no other further business before the board, this board is adjourned.